To be done. Just kidding, suck it. That sucked.
I'm a cool guy who does cool things. I'm a cool guy just like Van Helsing. I love writing songs and I really love to sing. And I'm a cool guy who does cool things. I know it's complicated, bear with me. I know it's complicated, bear with me. I'm such a cool guy. I rock out every day. I look in the mirror and say, hey, what a cool guy. That's a cool guy I see. I am such a cool guy. Such a cool guy is me. My wife thinks that I'm cool, I think that that's alright. She's a cool girl too, we ride into the night. On my mystery motorcycle that I named James Jeffrey Clyde. My wife's a cool girl too, we ride into the night. I'm such a cool guy. I rock out every day. I look in the mirror and say, hey, what a cool guy. That's a cool guy I see. I am such a cool guy. Such a cool guy is me. Do you get it, Mr. Guy? Do I need to say it another time? I'm such a cool guy. I rock out every day. I look in the mirror and say, hey, what a cool guy. That's a cool guy cool guy. That's a cool guy. I see, I'm such a cool guy. Such a cool guy is me. Bonka donka bonka donka bonka donka bonka donka bonka donka bonka donka 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 bonka donka bonka donka bonka donka. That suck.
Hello. What's going on? Welcome to another exciting evening of Roarstream here aboard the fantastic and beautifully digitalized Bort 3. The Kitty Theater is primed and ready to do our tier list. It's the Boink tier list. We're going to figure out which characters in Walt Disney movies have boinked canonically. Is Kitty going to get jealous? But I'm not going to be talking. I don't think you understand the main concept of the tier list. Hold on, let's talk. We'll talk about it upstairs. That is not the concept of the tier list. Hold on. Let me get this music started. That's real loud. Turn you down. And we're going to switch to a different playlist. There we go. Yeah, no. We're not doing a smash or pass playlist. This is a very different playlist. But first things first, we're doing Wordle. First things first, I'm going to pop y'all into a mode only because I'm going to do some Wordle. The first word is going to be loser. That gives me nothing. Next word is going to be dinky. Dinky is going to be... Holy shit.
I'm as hard as Nagari steel.
How are you still able to play sound effects? I feel like that sort of defeats the whole purpose of the mode only mode. Dinty? Dingy, probably. Yeah. Holy good lord. That was really good. All right. Can't silence Sprawl.
I don't like you at all.
Thanks, Chris James. What's up,
You can't silence Sprawl.
I did. I did, and I didn't get spoiled for the Wordle. Let me post this real quick to the Discord, to the everything. You rule, no Kitty, you rule. While I'm posting this, we'll go ahead and take a look at our character for today for Animal Crossing. We actually have two characters, but one of them is a lot quicker than the other. I have the devil primed and ready to tell us about our character. It's Maddie, so let's...
Maddie, Madone in Japanese, is a peppy dog villager in the Animal Crossing series with a birthday on January 11th, Capricorn, and an initial catchphrase of yippee.
Yippee!
She has a playful personality.
I'm going to post Wordle real quick.
And quick to forget trivial disagreements, and dreams of becoming a tour guide. Known for her love of tongue twisters and collecting trivia, Maddie enjoys Blue Mountain coffee with lots of milk and 3 spoonfuls of sugar. Her
Too much
appearance
sugar.
resembles
Way
a
too much sugar.
sable-coloured collie or Shetland sheepdog, with light brown fur fading to white on her muzzle and paws, complemented by dark eyes, brown eyelashes, and a triangle-shaped nose. Maddie's house themes emphasize outdoor and picnic settings, featuring items like picnic tables, fruit baskets, and meadow-themed wallpaper in New Leaf and New Horizons, where her favorite songs include KK Fusion and KK Stroll. She debuted in early Animal Crossing games, later reappearing as DLC in Happy Home Designer 2016, and through the Welcome Amiibo update in New Leaf. In New Horizons, Maddie's preferred styles are cute and simple, with a fondness for pink and purple colors. Additionally, her Amiibo card furniture includes a cruiser bike, picnic basket, and other garden-themed
Today's been
items.
really good. I'm glad to
Maddie's
hear it, Kitty.
catchphrase and bubbly personality reflect her peppy nature, and she shares her January 11th birthday with Nico, a character from the Happy Home Paradise DLC.
It's also not one of the sexy Animal Crossing. Again, we're not rating if characters are sexy. I feel like I have vastly under-explained the concept of tonight's tier list. This is not a are they sexy or not tier list. We'll talk about it in a minute. This is Maddie. We talked about it. We looked at it. I'm actually a little impressed that her house in New Horizons looks very similar to her house from Wild World. When I said it wasn't how it's spelled, I forgot dingy was a thing as opposed to yeah, dingy. Dingy. How are you guys doing? Are you ready for the tier list? Well, we have just a minute. This is also Nico's birthday, and I think Nico deserves an actual birthday. He's a monkey. He's a monkey, and he's one of the best characters in Animal Crossing. We like it. We like Nico in this stream. The only wait, what? It's not whether Roar would boink them or whether or not they have been boinked. The only princess Roar wants to leg over there is in the shadow already. That's for goddamn right. Hey Nico, what's your criteria for boinking? Is it like before? Can we? I promise I will explain it in just a minute. We have one more thing to do before we get there. I have here the Calvin and Hobbes 0RL generator. I actually call it the Calvin and Hobbesers. I am one way or another going to force Kitty to like Calvin and Hobbes, and we're going to do that 2 streams at a time.
This will explain everything.
Here, Mike. This will explain everything. So this basically gives us 2 random Calvin and Hobbes from today's date from the years between 1986 and 1995. So today's date, we're going to take a look at 1988 and 1992's comics for the day. And then once we're done with this, I promise we will get to we will get to oh my god, it started the Uncle Max series is starting today in 1988. So Calvin says, "Who's coming to visit? Your Uncle Max. I thought I told you." Uncle Max, you know what's funny about the Uncle Max series? Uncle Max couldn't talk to the parents by their names. Because they were just mom and dad. Anyways, I'm gonna give you time to read this thing, and you've already had it, so there you go. I'm already regretting this sketch here because I kind of want to get to the tier list. I also have a Garfield. Today is Garfield from 2004. This is terrible. This strip is terrible. You can have this strip. I'm gonna post this in the chat. There you go. You guys want to do the tier list? I kind of want to do the tier list. I got all excited for the tier list, and I was like, I don't want to do all this extra stuff. What are their names? The parents don't have names, Kitty. The parents don't have names. They're named just mom and dad, just Calvin's mom and dad. And that kind of becomes a conflict whenever they need to actually talk to those characters because he's literally just Calvin's mom and dad. Nope. Yep. They don't have any names. They are literally just Calvin's mom and dad, which makes it funny to have Calvin's dad's brother there for a few days, and he can't actually talk to them. Their names are a running joke. Not really. They like the fact that they can't be called by name is kind of a joke, but they don't really talk about it. This, guys, let's do the Boink tier list. This is the tier list. I did this a little bit. I made a list of characters that I thought had definitively had sex in Disney movies. And again, I don't want to make this weird. I'm going to reiterate this a few times over the next few minutes. This is all for fun. This is not to be weird. So I have developed a category system here. So over here we have confirmed parents. I'll go over the rules in a minute, but these are the different tiered rankings. Confirmed parent. When is the Boink cut off? What do you mean? Hold on. You read the. Let's look at the tiers, and then your question might be answered. Confirmed parent has banged so many times. That's basically the super player level. They are just like constantly on top of somebody. Tier 3 has banged 1 to possibly a couple times. Like they have definitely had relations before. You can tell. Like we're going by vibes here tonight. We're going by serious vibes. So they've definitely had it a few times, but they're not like players. You know what I mean? Like they've experienced the pleasures of the flesh. The tier after that is they've never banged before, but they will definitely...
Having a kid might not mean they bang DSP in a future series.
Having a kid might not mean they banged, especially in a future series. We can talk about that in a minute. Let me finish the tiers. They've never banged, but they will definitely bang after the credits, followed by never banged, never will, most likely. Like no possible chance that they actually not never will, but there's no proof or no confidence that they will bang anytime soon. The what category and child category. Do we differentiate between top and bottom? Absolutely not. Having a kid might not mean they banged in a future series. For the sake of this tier list, yes, all children belong to the parents. So here are our rules. Number 1. Do I have my writing? I do. So number 1, kids off limits. 1, kids, no kids. If they are a kid in the movie, they are not to be talked about. We're just getting rid of that. So based on your classification, I'm going to be using Disney's Descendants series direct genetic children. Good, no Snow White. Hold on, let me get through the rules because I have a Descendants I have a Descendants thing to go with it. Children's are off limits and no debates are allowed. If they have children, if they have children in sequels, children can go into confirmed parents because that means that the character. So like Wendy has a child. Wendy has a child in a canon Disney sequel. So Wendy will go into confirmed parent, like, you know, for reference for the future. Number 2, princesses specifically this is going to what's going to trigger this the most. Princesses of marriage age based on the time period when the movie was released or when the movie was based on will be treated as adults. If they are going to get married, we're going to be serious here. They are going to be, you know, they're going to boink after the credits. We're all adults here. Come on. Oh, okay. So rule 3 is specifically about Descendants. As far as I'm concerned, Descendants is not canon. I am not interested in Descendants. I'm not interested in getting into any of that crap. Any of that none of that counts in my book. With one exception, which we'll go into later. Descendants it's a movie that came out in 2015, all about the kids of Disney princesses, and Disney princes, and you know, Disney people. For example, like I think Ursula has a terrible daughter in high school. It's not good. So for the most part, I'm not considering Descendants, with one exception, which we'll talk about later. Finally, number 4, which I'm reiterating up here. Don't make things weird or gross. I don't want to talk about deep mechanics or logistics. This is Disney. We're having fun here. Sex is a natural body function. There's nothing wrong with good-hearted speculation. So I don't want to talk about weird things that you know, you'll know what's weird. Okay, I don't need to explain what's weird. Are we ready? Are we ready to start the list? Let's do this. We have so many characters. I looked up so many. We decided a few days ago that Lopunny is the sexiest Pokemon.
They go around again. They just go round and round.
I mean, you know, when you're right, you're right. PG folks, I mean, we can go, just don't be weird, especially with the kids. That's all I'm asking. You'll know what's weird when we get to it. Let's start the list. We have so many. So there will be some movies I've probably forgotten. Like, I don't think Bolt is on the list. I don't know anything about the characters of Bolt. It wouldn't be fun. So, like, Bolt isn't on the list, for example. That's just a human woman dressed as a bunny. Look, half the Pokemon are just humanoid creatures anyways. Let me full screen this. Perfect. Let's do this. All right. First character is Snow White. Snow White gets married at the end of the movie. She gets carried away by the prince, most likely to get married at the end of the movie. Snow White goes into never banged, but she will definitely bang after the credits. Snow White's 14. She's getting married. She's getting married. Sorry, it's part of the rules. Them's the rules. It's not up for debate. That's what's going to happen. Also, I need to be in presentation mode. There we go. Is she getting married? Is that confirmed? For all intents and purposes, and for the basis of this list, yes. Also, yeah, you're against child marriage personally, but we are in Florida. This was Germany in the 1400s. They were going to bang. We're going to take this. Let's get this out of the way now, because we got a lot of princesses to get to. They were definitely going to bang. Felinoid is being very optimistic, and yes, they could possibly wait. They're not going to. Come on. But they will bang at some point after the credits. All right. Next character, the Evil Queen. I think the Evil Queen has probably banged a couple times. We're going by vibes, and I don't feel like the Evil Queen has had a lot of, time in the bedroom. That's the vibes I'm getting. It is not so okay. Yeah, exactly. Like nowadays, definitely they should not walk off into the sunset at whatever age Snow White was. She goes all the time to get what she wants, but she doesn't want sex. You disagree? She never banged? No, she definitely banged. She definitely banged. 100%. I just don't think she banged a lot. She clearly pissed. No guy wants to boink. She's royalty. She's royalty. So yeah, of course she had somebody to bang. Banging is like a contract. Yeah, exactly. I'm willing to change it up later maybe, but I'm pretty sure she's banged at least a couple times. Never banged. Nope. I'm getting the vibe of at least once. 100% she's done it at least once. It's why she's so obsessive. Are you excited by the 2025 Snow White live action where she's played by Gal Gadot? Who? Snow White? I don't care. I honestly, 1,000%, I don't care. Okay, so now we have the dwarves. The Evil Queen? Huh. I don't have an opinion, to be honest. The same thing for the prince. Never banged, but will definitely bang after the credits. The dark mirror, or the magic mirror, goes into what? Because definitely has not ever had sex, and I don't think it could have sex. Now, the huntsman. I think the huntsman has never banged. I'm pretty sure in like the 1400s, it was not necessarily guaranteed that somebody would have banged. The prince is 14. He's for sure had sex. With who? With a whomst? Evil Queen may have performed for the mirror. You think he did have a wench? You think the prince had a lady? You think the prince climbed a wall and sang to a lady at a well after he'd already known about love? He's royalty. He's gonna play. The same logic you use for the queen applies to the prince. He's royalty. He's gonna bang someone. It's not the same. The evil queen is an evil queen. The huntsman? You think he did have a wench? You think he had a wife? I don't know. The huntsman, is he in the employ of the queen? I don't think he was in love. I think he had sex with one of his many suitors. I'm willing to bump him up to 1 to a couple times, but he's not going into bang so many times. This is not the face of someone who's banged a lot of times. Who's going to boink an evil queen? I think a lot. I think people... I have a feeling she had a disappointing time in the sack and just swore off sex forever. Huntsman probably snagged with someone at the tavern once. All right, I'm willing to move him up. I'm not dying on that hill. I think older times, he would have had somebody. But I don't feel like he was married. Okay, we're out of characters. We unfortunately have to go to the dwarves. I'm putting them all in child just for now, because I just want to put them out of the pinned images. All right. I don't really have an opinion. I don't think a lot of these guys have had sex. I don't think a lot of them have had sex. I'm gonna be honest. I think Happy has never banged. I think that's not Happy. That's Doc. I think Happy and Doc did it wrong once. I'm willing to believe that. Yep. Bashful never had sex. Sleepy never had sex. Sneezy never had sex. Grumpy has banged so many times. Grumpy has had so much disappointing sex. This is the face of someone who's had a lot of sex and it's all bad. I feel like Grumpy has had, actually, maybe not a lot of times, but he's definitely had a couple times. He's definitely tried. I'm willing to put him and Doc up in a couple times. Now, here's the unfortunate thing. Are you kidding me? He's a chud? Yeah. Sometimes people date chuds, kitty. It's unfortunate, but I'm pretty sure somebody would have found Grumpy's terrible demeanor delicious. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of chud women. So here's the unfortunate thing. Remember when I said I was not counting descendants? This is the one exception. Dopey is a confirmed parent, the only one of the 7 dwarves to have a confirmed child out of descendants. In fact, I believe he has 2 children. So just because I find it funny and it's my list, I'm only accepting Dopey out of descendants. SMH, Roar won't acknowledge alternative lifestyles. Dwarf Polycoop. I don't believe it. I don't believe any of these 4 have had sex. Maybe these 2. Do you think Doc and Grumpy may have had something? Maybe they had something going on? Just had some experimentation? Grumpy probably got dumped after a bit and never let it go. Very possible. Are we good with our list on Snow White? I think we are. Banged a couple times. Yeah, I'm fine with this. All right, next. We have our first child. Pinocchio is 100% a child. That is the bark of what's her name? Sandy will be watching out for children. If you hear a bark, then a child has been entered in. We cannot talk about Pinocchio. Pinocchio is a child, and we will not discuss him. Pinocchio isn't a child. He isn't even a real boy. He turns into a real boy at the end of the movie. What's a polycute? Basically a relationship consisting of more than 2 people. Don't they just call that polyamory? I think you can move the queen up. I don't think the queen has banged so many times. Although, no, the more I think about it, she lives alone. And I think she likes power. I think she's banged a couple times, but not enough to move up to so many times. Okay. He does become a real boy. Polyamory is a verb. A polycute is 3+ people who are all involved with all the others. Gotcha. Good to know. Whoever this kid is, whoever was on the island with him, also a boy. I think his name is like Alexander or something. We're not talking about him. Jiminy Cricket. Do we think Jiminy Cricket's banged? I don't know.
I just want you to be happy.
A polycule. A polycule.
Who do you think she'd pick? Sonny.
Jiminy's banged someone who's dead because crickets. I feel like I'm not getting the vibe from him that he has had a lot of sex. Don't they die after mating? We don't need to go into the biology of it. We're talking about the characters. I don't get the vibe that he has had a bunch of sex. Okay, Geppetto notoriously has never had a child. Has he ever even had a mate? Did Geppetto even have a wife? Let's ask the devil. Did Geppetto have a wife?
No, Geppetto, the fictional character from Pinocchio, did not have a wife. In the original story written by Carlo Collodi, Geppetto is depicted as a single elderly woodcarver who creates the wooden puppet Pinocchio. The tale does not mention any spouse or family for Geppetto.
All right, that's where it goes. This is anti-adoption bias.
I will not stand by and let you dehumanize adoptive parents. Roar.
There's no proof he adopts him. There's no nice cock. There's no proof he adopts him. Also, this isn't about that. This isn't about whether or not he becomes a parent figure for Pinocchio. This is about whether he has biologically inseminated somebody and has reproduced. That's what this is. This isn't about whether or not he's a father. He is a father. But he has not reproduced. I refuse to put him in there because of the bounds of the tier list, but I'm willing to accept that the silliness of the question. All right, how old is Figaro? How old is Figaro? Neither of them have banged. I'm almost 100% sure that Goldie has never banged. Figaro, was he spayed? In the 2022 Tom Hanks version, Geppetto has a son who died. Doesn't count. This is the Disney version of the movie. I don't know. I want to say Figaro was probably considered. I think Figaro was a kitten. Figaro was a kitten. I'm putting Figaro into child. The bark has happened. As for the fish has sexy eyebrows. So I'm going to consider the fish an adult. That said, I'm pretty sure the fish has never banged. Okay, next. What the hell is the name of the creature? What's the name of the really bad fox that leads Pinocchio astray? That was a Disney movie. Doesn't count. Volpe. What? Honest John. Thank you, Christ. Okay, Honest John. They goop all over the place. She wants to love. She does want to love, but I don't think she's banged. I don't think in the context of this list she has banged. Honest John banged so many times. This fox has fucked. What do you think about this idiot? We don't even need to talk about that. He is easily first and foremost. This guy has straight up plowed a lot of other people. What do you think about his little dumb helper? I bet you he's banged a couple times. I bet you this guy this little doofy moron has felt carnal love at some point. I forget his name, and I don't really care to look it up, but I'm pretty sure his little helper friend. You think I remember any other characters from Pinocchio? You don't remember Honest John? You'll remember this guy. What do you think about what's his name? Poncelli, whatever this guy's name is. The bad guy who takes Pinocchio away. Not high quality partner. Oh, definitely not. Neither of them are. This isn't about quality. This is just about whether they or not they have done it. What about the guy who takes Pinocchio? I bet you he has banged a couple times. I need to cough 1 second. I bet you he's banged a couple times. This guy has definitely had sex because he has herpes. What about this guy here? The carnival barker. I bet you this guy has had sex. This is the look of a man who buys prostitutes. This is the look of a man who spends all of his money on women of the night. He has definitely banged so many times. He's not a confirmed parent. Yeah, he's had some purchased love. Roar seems judgmental of those that have sex. What do you mean? Got that right. What do you mean? The Blue Fairy. Blue Fairy has never banged. That's why. She's the Blue Fairy. Putting all the bad characters up on the high Boink tiers. That's what the list is. I don't know what to tell you. She's a fae. Fae Boink all the time. Not the Blue Fairy. The Blue Fairy is pure goodness. And I don't feel like she has lust within her. I'm not judging. Which one is the Blue Fairy? She's the one that comes down and wishes on Pinocchio. And yeah, this is still Pinocchio. We're almost done with Pinocchio. Pinocchio's dumb little friend is a kid. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. He's going down into kids. Blue Fairy is just fine with her hand. I don't think Blue Fairy has thoughts. What do you think about Monstro? Do you think Monstro has mated and has had babies and has banged? Monstro is king of the sea. I bet you he's banged. Monstro has definitely banged. Can you add a category? I have a lot of categories already. Has no concept of boinking. That would be in the what category? That would be in the what category? Excuse me. Next, I think we are done with Pinocchio. Next movie is Dumbo. Dumbo himself is a child. Thank you, Sandy. Dumbo is locked out. His friend Timothy is a mouse. Timothy has banged a couple times. I don't get the vibe that... Actually, I get the vibe that Timothy has banged a bunch. Does he have a family? No. Almost 100% Timothy the mouse does not have a family. But I bet you he's tried. We don't have any confirmation, so I can't confirm him. Confirmed means we know 100% that they have children. We're going to get a few confirmed parents right now. Speaking of which, our first confirmed parent is Dumbo's mom. Jumbo? I think her name is Jumbo. Very much a parent. What about the other mom? Like the other elephants? Do the other elephants in the Disney movie Dumbo have kids? Are they confirmed parents? The other elephants are not explicitly shown to have children. No. Okay. How many characters are on this list? This many. The bitch elephant is first. I would say that they have probably banged a couple times, because realistically, all of these elephants are probably trying to be bred. So I would bet you that all of the other elephants have banged at least a couple times. Does banged mean times necessitate? What the hell did you just say?
Sprawl says, does banged many times necessitate multiple partners, or they just boink a lot?
I don't think so, though, because I would assume that they don't try to breed very often, right? Like I don't know. I don't know how elephant breeding works, but is it number of times, or we're going by vibes, Sprawl? We're going by vibes. If we know this person has had a bunch of sex, we're going by vibes. You and I, we would both be confirmed parents. If they have children, they skip had a bunch of that had a bunch of times. And I don't believe that all of these other elephants, I don't get the vibe that they've had so much sex, because they don't have kids. If they're trying to be bred, they don't. I bet you they haven't had time to breed all these other elephants. I don't know. I don't know how elephant breeding works. I don't know if you've heard. The birds from the crows. I'm pretty sure that they're birds. The crows have banged so many times. I wasn't going to bring up the fact that they were racist, but yeah, the racist crows have probably banged so many times. I can tell you how elephant breeding works in the 1800 circuses. It isn't great. I'd be really cool if we didn't talk about elephant breeding circuses in the 1800s. How about the circus guy, the circus conductor? You think the circus guy has had sex? He works for the circus. Yeah, he's had sex. He's had sex a couple times. Not a bunch of times, a couple times. He's married to his job. I bet you he's had at least one dalliance. Dollars to donuts. What about the stork? What about the stork? I feel like the stork has never banged. I feel like the stork, his whole job is to bring babies to the world. And I feel like the stork has not ever experienced carnal pleasure. Dalliance? You know, he's had a romp in the hay, as it were. I feel this stork is ace. He really just loves bringing babies into the world. He doesn't care about the sex part. Bunger. Bunger, bunger, bunger. All right, what's going on, everybody? How's your Saturday been? Have you had a good weekend so far? Casey Jr., the train, who is a sapient character, goes into the what category, because he does not he can't have relations. By the way, I am not ranking these from left to right. If they are in a tier, that's where they are. This list is going to be long and convoluted enough that we are not going to go from who's had the most relations. That would be silly. The clowns from Dumbo, 100% have banged so many times. I feel like they've had a gross amount of sex, and I don't want to think about it, and I feel like we should move on and not think about it, but they've definitely experienced so much banging. The little kid that pesters Dumbo is a child, so thank you. Donald Duck. Donald Duck. There's a little kid that pesters Dumbo a bunch, and that's the kid that gets, like, Dumbo shackled in chains, but he is part of the movie. Excuse me. I think Donald has banged a bunch. Although, actually, Donald was he was a sailor. Oh, he was a sailor. Are there hot clown girls? I'm pretty sure there are not. I'm pretty sure they were all men. Donald was a sailor, but he was devoted to Daisy. Do you think he had romps in the hay while he was in the service? Who was next to Donald? Right here? Those are the clowns, Kitty. The clowns from Dumbo. I feel like Donald has gone so many times. Are you suggesting he hasn't had a lot of sex with Daisy Duck? Daisy's not on this list. Daisy's not in she's not in an animated classic. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm okay putting him in so many times. How about Jose Carioca and Panchito? I'm feeling like they also have had so much sex. Yeah, I'm getting the vibe that both of these guys have had so much sex from the Three Caballeros. And I feel okay putting all three of them on this list. They might have even had sex with each other, but that's, completely speculation. How about the wacky bird from whatever his name was?
If you like what you saw here, folks, why not get involved?
Next trick. Oh, I forget his name. The Araquan bird. I bet you he's banged a couple times. I don't get the vibe that anybody would stay long term with this bird because it's so irritating. But I bet you this is... I get the vibe that this bird has had relations at least once. Ichabod Crane. I bet you Ichabod Crane never banged. I don't feel like there's any situation in which Ichabod Crane ever banged. The ladies liked him, but he wasn't interested in them. He wanted their food. I feel like he would have banged had he not, died. Massive spoilers. But I feel like he is in the never banged category. Now, what about the other guy in Mr. Toad and Ichabod Crane? What about the bad guy in Mr. Toad? Or not Mr. Toad, in Ichabod Crane, I mean. The bully. Do you think he'd actually had sex, or do you think he'd never banged either? Part of me thinks this was all an act. And, like, his problem... Brom, was that his name? Like, his irritation was the fact that he'd never banged. Please say you said the three amigos were boinking each other. I insinuated that it was a possibility. He probably did. Does the fact that Ichabod Crane is a real-life general who had multiple children relate to this? No, we're talking about the character from the Disney animated classic, Ichabod Crane. You think Ichabod was gay? I don't think Ichabod was gay. No, he wasn't gay. He was interested in the next character we're about to talk about. I'm feeling like this character had never banged. I feel like he was wanting to. He is based on the general? Yeah, but he didn't have children. He didn't have children in the animated classic. So, I mean, where does that... Like, he didn't have any children, and he was interested in the next lady we're about to talk about. Who, I forget her name, but no, she's never banged. No vibe of having banged from this character. The Headless Horseman goes into what? Because the Headless Horseman does not have a concept of banging. What about Mr. Toad? The next lady has banged. Who? She was banging the Headless Horseman. She was not banging the Headless Horseman, as a matter of fact. Also completely... I mean, we don't know what the pumpkin can do. The Horseman was a real guy. No roar in the real story. We're not talking about the real story. We're talking about the animated classic. The Horseman was just a guy. In the animated classic, he was a spirit that ended up like Ichabod was never seen again, and he like died. He went to like hell or whatever. Yeah, haven't you seen? He was an actual spirit. What about Mr. Toad? I feel like Mr. Toad has banged a couple times. But anybody who's that interested in cars and driving around the countryside has not experienced a lot of sex. As for his horse, though, I bet you his horse has had a bunch of sex. I bet you the horse from Ichabod and Mr. Toad has had a whole bunch of sex. I get major carnal pleasures out of this guy. The horse was gelded. There's no proof of that. I don't know these other characters. I feel like the you don't ride stallions. He's not riding a stallion. He's pulling a cart. Is the horse a lady? The horse is not a lady. I bet you the little gnome guy, the little mole, I bet you he's never banged. So you think this guy hasn't banged? If a stallion is pulling a cart and it comes across a lady horse, that cart will be broken. So you think that this horse has never banged? Because, all right. I didn't get any vibe. There was no sexual vibe from this horse. He was just upset that the Mr. Toad didn't want to ride in the cart anymore. He wanted to use the motor car. The motor car. Now, as for the other guy, I feel like he's banged at least once. The inspector guy who helped Mr. Toad, I feel like he has at least once experienced pleasure. He has had a partner. Same thing for the badger who helps them out. I feel like all three of these characters have done something along those lines. Now, what are we listening to? I don't want to listen to this. There we go. All right. Alice is our next character. She is a child. And there is no confirmation that Alice ever has a child, or ever has a kid, so she's staying as a child. Now, what about the Mad Hatter? Do we feel like the Mad Hatter has had a bunch of sex? Like, so many times? Do you think that these two, maybe? It's possible. They live together. I kind of get the vibe that these two live together and have banged so many times. They might also have other partners. I mean, it's all a dream, so who knows, but...
They have birthday sex.
It's my unbirthday! I don't have any buttons for this. Hold on. There we go. Actually, you have syphilis. That's true, too. They're mad and they're insane, although I think everybody on this list would count coming up on the next few. What about the caterpillar? You're going to preempt the white rabbit, just something to consider. Has banged after the credits. Whom? He's late for a date. Oh, with Mary Jane. He lives with Mary Jane, doesn't he? Mary Ann, not Mary Jane. I'm such a stoner. He lives with Mary Ann. The white the rabbit definitely has banged so many times because he lives with Mary Ann. Caterpillar has not had sex recently. I'm willing to put him in. He's definitely had the relations at least once. I get that vibe out of him. What about the Cheshire Cat? Can't possibly have had sex. There's no way. Cheshire Cat. I feel like anybody. The Cheshire Cat has not tagged anybody. He's late for a date. The Queen. And that might be a hot take, but I'm pretty sure the Cheshire Cat has not had any form of relations. I'm going to put the doorknob into what? And while I'm over here, because I'm seeing them, I'm going to put Alice's sister. In fact, I'm going to put Alice's sister into child. No, I'm not. I'm going to put Alice's sister into Never Banged because I'm pretty sure Alice's sister is old enough. Cat totally has. I disagree, Kitty. I'm not getting any vibe of I have experienced pleasure. I only experience madness out of this cat. You can get I have returned. You know that when I see the stream go down, I stop talking, right? I don't just sit here and talk to myself. Usually once I see that you guys have lost some frames, I stop mentioning things. Shirley and Alice Madness returns. He said sex, possibly, but that doesn't count. Guess who didn't change out his router while I had my time off, while I had my weekend? Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I talked to myself. Yeah, I sort of mumbled to myself like I should have changed out the router while I was just fucking around today. Tweedledee and Tweedledum are children. The ads are coming up in about 40 seconds. We'll try and get a few more before the ads pop up. Once the ads go, I'm going to take a break. Go stretch your legs, all that, but I'll let Twitch take care of that. I turned the ads to run automatically because now there will never be pre-rolls, according to how I understand it. So, how do you feel about... okay, the bird is a confirmed parent. The bird has had has children, so definitely confirmed parent for the bird. You're going to have nighttime waffles? Nice. In fact, it's in 8 seconds, so I'm going to go stretch my legs. We're going to get some. I'm going to get some juice. Be right back. I'm back. And I have dried mangoes. Mango is sexy. I don't know about sexy, but it's delicious. We're trying not to chew it too much in your ear. How do we feel about the walrus? I feel like the walrus has banged a couple times, but not a bunch. This is the look of the man who's had like a few times, but not like a bunch of times. As for the carpenter, nah, never. The walrus and the carpenter, the carpenter has never experienced the love of a lady or a man. The dodo. I get the vibe that the dodo has had a bunch of sex. The carpenter? Nah. The carpenter is an upstanding gentleman. He would never pay for some sort of streetwalker. I'm not here to judge, but where was I? Oh, dodo. Okay. Bill. How do we feel about Bill? Do we think Bill has banged a bunch of times? I'm thinking he may have been. He's definitely banged. I don't know about a bunch. I think I'll put him in 1 to a couple. Now, I put the flowers in here. I'm not really sure what to do about the flowers. I feel like the crabby flower has not... Actually, no. She doesn't she have a baby? I think the purple flower has a baby. Doesn't she have a bud? Purple flower, bud, Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the purple flower has a baby. You think Bill has kids? I don't think that's confirmed. Or at least not in the animated. I think she's pretty. Yeah, I feel like the bud has she has the buds. Now, the king. The king has definitely banged at least once. But not a bunch. I get the vibe the queen has had a bunch of lovers, not all of which have been the king, which I think was confirmed in that one book. Like, she basically married the king for prestige and stuff. The rose, yeah, the king couldn't satisfy her. Yeah, not really. The rose, I don't feel like the rose has ever banged. We're almost done with Alice in Wonderland. Dormouse, Dormouse has probably banged so many times. Dormouse is a mouse. The stupid flamingo. The stupid flamingo that they use as croquet mallets. I bet you they've mated once or twice. And finally, the three painters. I bet you a lot of these cards have not had sex. I bet you they are Well, actually, they're army guys, so I bet you they've had a couple times. All right, I think that is the end of the Alice in Wonderland characters. Ready to move on to Cinderella? All right, Cinderella is our next movie. Excuse me. Starting with the titular character of their cards, no genitalia. We are assuming they have some form of, well, that's a fair point. Although, we don't see genitalia on Donald either. We kind of have to assume that maybe it comes out like a sheath. Let's put Cinderella definitely into the never banged but will bang after the credits. Lady Gothel is a confirmed parent. The fairy godmother, never banged. She's going into the same category as the blue fairy. Oh, Marky Mark. Her the two stepdaughters are both children. We're going to put them into the children category. Thank you, Sandy. The mice. Jock. No, Jock and Gus. I think Jock has banged so many times. I feel like Gus has not. I'm not getting the vibe that Gus has experienced pleasure. In fact, Gus I think might be going to child. No. Gus is just an idiot. He's not a child. Gus does not give the vibe of somebody who knows what's going on in the bedroom. Bruno the dog probably banged a couple times. What are we listening to? Oh, I think this is a Donnie Darko remix. Yeah, the dog Bruno from Cinderella has definitely banged a few times. The girl mouse, who I had to add because I forgot about her. The girl mouse also, I bet you, has banged a bunch too, because they're mice. The king is a confirmed parent. Mother Gothel stole Rapunzel. She did, yes. So she is not her official parent. We'll get to This is Lady Tremaine. Mother Gothel, we'll talk about her later. Probably not tonight at this rate. The king's servant. The king's man. I bet you he's never banged. I feel like I'm not getting the vibe from this guy. She didn't have kids of her own. She didn't have a partner, did she? That I knew of. The Cinderella's husband. Hey kid. Do we think he's banged? This is a tasty burger. Her husband, he got his head chopped off. Same reason as the other prince. That's going to make this category a lot smaller than I thought. He'll bang after the credits, inspired to finally pay for it. You know what? I like where your head's at. I like your head's at. He's never banged, but he's going to go bang after the credits because he is so excited and happy. Birds. I think these two are a couple, so yeah, they've banged so many times. This man actually have something to say. I don't think Lucifer's had sex. I don't think Lucifer ever had sex. That's the look of a cat that has an angry cat. Never will bang because dead. Peter Pan. Essential child. In the child list. We don't talk about him. We celebrate that way. We do, kitty. Wendy. As mentioned before, Wendy has a child. Wendy is a confirmed parent. So we put Wendy in the confirmed parent list. Captain Hook. Captain Hook has banged so many times.
Let's go.
Captain Hook has experienced a bunch of ports. Peter Pan has a child in Hook. That's fair. If we're considering Hook canon, then yeah, definitely, you're right. Good call. Hook bangs me on the regs. The Darling parents are both confirmed parents. Who are you? You're on the wrong. Hold on. Wrong space. You go back here. There we go. You are the confirmed parents. Also, the racist caricature of a Native American. I forget his name, but the Native American chief is also a confirmed parent. Smee. Jokes aside, do we think Smee's had a bunch of sex? Yeah, he's banged a bunch. That Smee has the look of somebody who's banged a bunch. It may have been a while. It's been a while, but I bet you he's banged a bunch. Smee is 100% Hook's cabin boy. I don't feel like Smee is currently banging it out. He's really old, guys. He's super old. Like, he does the wacky voice, but he's real, like, he's super old. But I'm willing to put him up with Bang so many times. Toodles grew up. Oh, wait. Oh, shit, you're right. Was Toodles in Hook? Toodles wasn't, hold on. Toodles in Hook. You're right. Look at this picture. Because he ended up being like Smee, right? Did he have any kids? He didn't have any kids. So he can't be a confirmed parent, but he definitely had the sex. The others, kids here, they are both kids. They'll sit in the corner and jerk off. Yeah, they go in the kids list. Tiger Lily is also going in the kids list, although most likely she'll be married off to someone else by her parents. But I'm not going to broach that can of beans. We're into Lady and the Tramp. Lady and the Tramp, the two parents from Lady and the Tramp are both confirmed parents. Where's the guy? Here he is. There we go. The two parents from Lady and the Tramp there. Should be married off to a colonist. Confirmed Jizrag. No, that would be breaking the don't make this weird or gross rule. So let's not go there. Lady and Tramp are both confirmed parents. What a dog. Dog in the Pound has definitely banged so many times, as has this other dog that's in the Pound. Not sure about this dachshund. Probably. All these dogs in the Pound, almost 100% have banged it out so much. Now, as for this little Scottish Terrier here, I'm not sure about him because he's a little family dog. He's a little family dog. It's called the Pound for a reason. She fucked the tramp. She did fuck the tramp. You're right. You're 100% right. What a dog. I feel like this dog has probably banged a couple times, but not a lot. Same with this other dog, because these are both like domestic dogs. The Siamese cats, I don't feel like they ever banged. I'm not getting any bang vibes out of these. The Scottish Terrier is a rich family dog. He doesn't have balls. Very good point. You make a fair point. He probably has never banged. This other dog, though, this is the look of a dog with balls. I'm willing to say this dog is so high-strung that he's never had sex. This dog, though, this is the dog. This is the look of a dog with balls. You don't neuter competition dogs? I don't think he was a competition dog. He's a home dog. We have a Yorkie poo worth a lot of money. Doesn't mean he's a show dog. What about the two chefs from that serve them lasagna? I bet you they've both had a lot of sex. Like just so much sex. At least the main guy has. This other guy, maybe not a bunch of sex. He might have had just a little bit of sex. Pongo has the Boink look. What, down here? Pongo is a confirmed parent, but we'll get to him later. They're Italian. Of course they've had sex. Of course they've had sex. Yeah. Look at that. They're singing a song about love. Of course they've had sex. Oh, here's some other dogs from the pound. A boom, 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 rough. A boom, 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 rough. There we go. All those dogs from the pound go into the bang list. How about this beaver? I bet you the beaver that helped Lady get her muzzle off has banged at least once. Stereotypical. Look. We're just going by vibes here. How about the aunt that came over and watched that watched their kid and put Lady in the muzzle? I bet you she's never banged. This is the look of somebody who's never experienced carnal pleasure. I feel okay with it with that placement right there. You don't think he has a concept of boinking? Well, he is able to boink. He is able to boink, so that gives him the possibility. You don't think he's ever banged? Let me think. You know what? He might have never banged. He wouldn't go into what, but he might have never banged. I think you're right. Yeah, I think that she's a terrible person and has probably never banged. Princess Aurora. I don't want to talk about the fact about the original fairy tale in which she had two children while she was sleeping. That has nothing to do with the Disney movie. As far as I'm concerned, she never banged, and she will bang after the credits. Now, what about Prince Philip? Prince Philip was promised to Princess Aurora as a child. They were destined for each other. Why would we assume that Prince Philip would have had concubines as he was growing up? I'm kind of feeling like he has not had sex. He's the oldest prince, but he was... Do you think... I don't think so. For one reason... Look at these next two coming up. I'm just going to put them into a confirmed parent right now. These two kings... They were a union to unite those two kingdoms. Would they have allowed, like... You know what? I want my daughter to be a virgin and your son just go out with a bunch of whores? A bunch of ladies of the night? I think with most princes... Sorry, I'm eating mango again. With most princes, I'm willing to put them into the has had sex. But I think Philip specifically, I feel like he was enough of a Nerdlemeyer that he would have waited. What about Maleficent? Does Philip have brothers? I'm not sure. Do you think Philip's had Maleficent's had a bunch of sex? She might go into the same category as the evil queen. Like, she's definitely banged once. Yeah, I'm thinking she has had sex, but that she doesn't make it her whole thing. Like, she's not that into it. The fairies, the good fairies, have never had sex. No, these three women have never had sex. I would bet bottom dollar on that. The crow, Maleficent's crow, he has definitely had sex a couple times. They're a lesbian throuple. They totally had sex. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I'm all for lesbian couples, but I don't believe that one. Anybody who's having sex all the time isn't evil. Like, you wouldn't be evil if you were having good sex all the time. Pongo and Perdita are both parents. Confirmed. What about Cruella? What about Cruella? What? What? Which one? I don't know what you're talking about. Evil people can't have sex all the time. You're telling me right now that Maleficent is having a bunch of sex? Lol. No. 100% no. That's the wildest take. Look at her. No. 100% no. She doesn't have a mate. Like, maybe she's taking care of herself, but no, this is not a woman. She spent 16 years obsessing about someone else's daughter. You don't need a mate. Then who? Her little gremlins? Who? And Maleficent wasn't interested in the movie either. She could turn into a dragon at will. Yeah, like I said, she could take care of herself, but I don't think she has a partner. And I've never gotten the vibe from Maleficent. She's evil, yeah. She has bigger things in her mind than dicks and vaginas. That's just what I'm saying. As for Cruella, yeah, I think she's definitely had sex at some point. She's definitely boinked. What about Horace and Jasper? I think Jasper has. I think Horace has not. I feel like this is the guy who has not experienced pleasure like that. And this is the guy who, one way or another, has. You would have gone the other way? You think? I could see it. All right. I like where your head's at. Like he's bumbling, but he knows what's going on in the bedroom kind of thing. Oh, I'm out of mango. What about the nanny? Now, the two people, the two owners of Pongo and Perdita, were never confirmed to have children. So they have both banged each other so many times, presumably. But they are not confirmed parents. Their dogs are. The nanny, though, I bet you she's banged so many times. It's been a while. Because she's like, she knows a lot about birthing babies. Well, I guess it doesn't require having a lot of sex. I guess she doesn't have the vibe of somebody who has had a ton of sex, but she's had a little bit. Sergeant Tibbs is a mangy barn cat. Definitely banged at least once. But not a lot. Do I not have the captain? Captain Dog 101 Dalmatians. Excuse me. The Colonel, excuse me. Nicey zoo zoo. Nicey zoo zoo. Anyways, the Colonel. Let's put you up here. Some Toms will kill kittens just to put the females to eat. Yeah, but Sergeant Tibbs is a simpering coward in the movie. So I don't know. I don't get that vibe from Sergeant Tibbs. Maybe most Tomcats, but not this specific one. But he's definitely banged at least a couple times. I just don't think he's a super playboy. You know what I mean? As for the Colonel, the Colonel's banged a bunch. He's an old shaggy sheepdog. I bet you he has. Because he's super old and just doesn't really care. And he's just like, oh, Boulder Dash sort of thing. I don't have any information about this little hunter dog who leads them on their way. Colonel's bang. Yeah, he's definitely banged a bunch. I feel like this guy, he's pretty, so I bet you he's banged at least a couple times because I bet you he's been bred, possibly, but because he looks like a pedigree kind of dog. This dog, all of these dogs who are just out, they're just all outside all the time. I bet you they banged a bunch. Like, I don't have any reason to believe that these dogs that just roam around outside haven't had a bunch of dogs. That's a post-credit dog. This dog never comes up again. I can't reasonably put him in post-credit. He is such a worthless... these cows are producing milk, which I'm pretty sure means they're confirmed parents, right? And this person here is a character in the 101 Dalmatians, the TV show that they're watching. I forget his name, like Cowboy Coyote Slim or something along those lines. I'm pretty sure that he is the kind of guy who's banged so many times, but it's all been non-consensual. You thinking so? I bet you he's purchased a bunch of ladies of the night. He rolls into a cowboy town. He's like, I'm looking for the hookers. And then the dog from there, like the Lightning Slim or whatever his name was, he goes and rescues them and rescues the hookers. Wart's father from the Sword in the Stone is a confirmed father, obviously. Actually, I don't even know if he's Wart's father, but he is a father to this other guy over here. The Wart is a child He never has kids, at least that we know of. So King Arthur, he will eventually become King Arthur, but in the terms that we know him in Disney canon, he never boinks in the movie. Merlin. Does Merlin have kids? Merlin doesn't have kids. I'm betting. Boinks after the credits. Oh, you're right. You're 100% right. 1,000% right. Merlin is post credits because he gets younger. Fair enough, but he's had sex before. He's so old. Merlin has had to have had sex in his like before the movie at some point. In Bermuda. Yeah, it won't be after the credits, but I would say at least one to a couple times. He's so old that I'm almost tempted to put him in a bunch. Except he ages backwards, so old means not so old since birth. I think he definitely has at least one, so I'm going to put him in there for now. What about Archimedes? His owl. Do we feel like his owl has had sex? I have no reason to believe that his cranky owl has actually experienced carnal pleasure. Yeah, I'm not really feeling like this is the kind of owl who has ever attracted a mate. Let's skip the squirrel for a second. Wart's brother is a child, so actually he's a child. I'm going to leaving him a child. The guy who inspects the sword at the end of Sword in the Stone is probably a family man, so he's banged so many times. The squirrels both boink during the movie. You know it deep down. Who? The squirrel's like Wart and the squirrel? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. No way. I bet you the older squirrel has banged so many times. She has the look of somebody who's like, hey, new squirrel. Yeah, definitely. Young squirrel, never banged, but definitely will bang after the credits. We don't know to whom, but she's a squirrel. I think he means with each other. Mama Squirrel and Merlin did not. What about Madam Mim? She will never bang. Yes, she will. She will get over the wart. She's a squirrel. She'll get over it. Yeah, it's fine. She'll get over it. I promise you. I promise you she'll be fine. I promise you she'll be fine. I bet you she's banged a couple times, but she lives crazy by herself. Why do you keep calling him the wart? Because that's what they call him in the movie. And I keep forgetting what his name is. What do they call him in the movie? What? What about the little servant that they have? I bet she's banged a couple times. Like the one who serves the king. His name is King Arthur. It's not King Arthur till the end of the movie, so I don't care about him. What do they call him throughout the entire movie? What does Merlin call him? I forget. Arthur? Whatever. What about the wolf that lives out by himself and tries to eat Wart? He has a real name. What is his stupid name? What is the name of the kid Arthur from the Sword and the Stone cartoon? It's not just Wart, right? And it's not King Arthur. don't they call... What does Merlin call him? He doesn't call him Wart. He call him the boy. Oh, the boy. Wolf is a child. His name is Arthur. I know, but they don't call him Arthur until like the last 4 minutes of the movie. I'm willing to believe that Wolf has never banged, actually. But he will bang after the credits. I think the wolf is mature, but I don't think he's banged. Baloo has had so much sex. This is the look of somebody who has had it all. Has experienced it all. He's banged. It's what animals do. He's so skinny, though. But why? How would he pull a mate? He is a bedraggled fur coat. Shere Khan has a harem. Yeah, Shere Khan has definitely banged so many times. Bagheera has only banged a couple times. I feel like Bagheera lives by himself and is kind of a nerdlemire. As long as I'm looking at him, I'm going to go put Mowgli down in child. Thank you. I was wondering when I made this list, what about the vultures? The vultures are based off of the Beatles. Snake has had all non-consensual. I'd agree with that. But not a lot. He's more interested in food. Louis had a lot. Yep. Agreed. The two elephants are both confirmed parents, and their son is a child. So we will. That's the thing about this list, is that it's huge, but we're not spending like 10 minutes on each item like we do with most of our tier lists. A lot of this we're blasting through a lot of this. The vultures. Do we feel like the vultures have banged so many times? They're based off of the Beatles, but they kind of seem like dorks. I kind of feel like they were based off of the Beatles if they were nerds. The vultures are a polycule. I don't think the vultures are gay. Some of the vultures have boinked. Let's put them down into a couple times. Too dumb to. Yeah, they might not have had a bunch of sex, but a couple times maybe. This is a good list. I'm moving. I don't know if the Dormouse. I feel like the Dormouse hasn't banged. The more I look at the Dormouse, I don't like him up and banged. I feel like the Dormouse just doesn't have any sort of interest. Thomas O'Malley has had he's a confirmed parent. Thomas O'Malley is confirmed parent, and so is the mom. Their children are kittens. They are off the table. Roquefort the mouse. He's a mouse. He's probably banged a bunch. And he's an old mouse, so probably banged a bunch. The street cats have banged a bunch, 100%. Sprawl, you seem to be an expert on horses. This is a female horse owned by the old lady. Do you think that this female horse, who is like their carriage horse, where are they on the list? I feel like the two wacky sisters who are walking down the path have never banged. Their father, though, or their uncle, definitely banged a couple times. Carriage horse would not be a lot, but maybe once or twice. I'm willing to go with that. Now, these two dogs that live out in the little The two dogs that live out in the hay field have definitely banged a bunch. Possibly each other, but they are dogs that live out in a field. Most likely they've had the pleasure. Now, the old lady has no children, but she's probably had a romance. This guy, though, definitely. This is the look of somebody who's had a bunch of tang. Now, her little manservant guy, Edward or Alan or Edgar, he has probably had once or twice over his life. I'm feeling he's had just a little bit, but he's definitely had some sex. Yeah, I feel like he has definitely made some love tonight. He might even be a confirmed parent. In the Aristocats, there's an old guy who helps the old lady with her will. Do you think that guy has had kids? George Hautecourt doesn't provide any backstory. Okay, then I can't confirm, but I bet you he's had sex. Now, Kitty and I were wondering, we were talking about this before the stream, about Robin Hood. And now she and I were disagreeing. You know the scene in Robin Hood, Love Goes On? This scene where they are going out into the, like, behind the waterfall and just off into the middle of, like, they had just escaped and found each other.
According to E621, Robin and Lil Jon are boinking a lot.
I don't believe that. They've boinked so much. They definitely will. But I mean, this whole scene here, I bet you they boinked behind the waterfall. See this scene right here? This little transition? This transition right here. If Marion boinked, she'd no longer be a maid. Well, they'd already, asked to be engaged. I bet you they'd banged a couple times. And you know what? It's not exactly right. No, actually, I take it back. I'm putting them up because it's not correct. I'm putting them in one to a couple times because they both banged each other. At least once before the movie was over. Little John, though, all the time. He has experienced it all. This is the look of this is the face of somebody who's definitely experienced something. Alan Adale, same thing. This guy has definitely experienced something. Alan Adale is a minstrel. Little John is a bear. You say after the wedding is probable? I'm willing to move it down to after the wedding. Just because that's just for balance. Because that's so close. They may or may not have had like one or two. But they will definitely bang it out after the credits. He has the trip. The only thing Robin and Mario haven't done is ween and veg. Yeah, I bet you they will definitely do it after the credits. And I think I'm going to bump it to after the credits just for balance sake. I need to sneeze. 1 second. I just opened my eyes after sneezing and see anal in the corner of my eyes. Hand stuff and anal. I'm going to put Friar Tuck. He's a friar. He's never banged. Prince John. He's banged a bunch. He's had a bunch of he's had a concubine. I was sneezing. Who? He's the king. He's tried to bang but always cries. Friar Tuck's done it once. I was thinking that. I'm like, do you think he may have had one? Yeah, I'd agree with that because he isn't a perfect friar, as it were. He's not like a perfect member of the cloth. Prince John wants to bang, but all right, I'm willing to go there. Like, he tries, and he won't bang after the credits. That's for sure. The king, though, has definitely banged so many times. Oh, what about Sir Hiss? Sir Hiss, who's basically the same as Ka. The kids go into the kid category. No talking there. You don't think friars can bang? I don't think they bang. They can as their friars, but he looks like he's had a past. Thinks he's banged, but he hasn't. I feel like Sir Hiss might not have banged. I think you're right. Actually, I take it back. He can hypnotize too, so he's definitely banged at least once. Hiss never banged. He can hypnotize. You don't think he's banged at least once? The mom, who has like 15 babies, is a confirmed parent. He thinks he has. Fair enough. I'll put him in the never banged category. What about Lady Cluck? I bet you Lady Cluck has banged. In fact, I bet you she's banged a bunch. She looks like she knows how to handle kids. We don't have a confirmed parent on Lady Cluck, but I bet you she's banged. Sheriff of Nottingham has probably banged at least once. He hasn't banged a bunch, but he knows what it's like and he wants more. I think I know what you're trying to say, Kitty, and yeah, you're not wrong. He's a bad guy. What about Trigger and Nutsy? I bet you Nutsy has never banged. He's a bit of a dork. I bet you he's never banged. Nutsy, or excuse me, Trigger has banged once or twice. He's secure in his masculinity. He knows that he is able to work his dillywhacker at least a little bit. You're back. What did you miss? Glorp, what do you know about the Black Cauldron? Black Cauldron's coming up, and I know almost nothing about it. Have you seen Black Cauldron recently? The Ironsmith, the guy who works and who broke his leg, I bet you he's banged a bunch. He looks like the kind of guy who's had a bunch of sex. You know, Cherry Doom wanted to have sex with the pig. We watched it a few years ago. Is the safety on old Trigger there? You betcha, Sheriff. Yeah, I thought so. There aren't a lot of characters. Well, I might need your help on some of these guys. 2 of them are kids, so I can instantly put them into kids. Like, just listen. Everyone around a fireball, but then drinking them all. That startled me. Put them both into child. Yeah, I don't know any of those other characters. This little thing I'm going to put into what? Because I'm pretty sure this thing doesn't have sex. Piglet has never banged. Actually, Piglet's a child. I'm going to put Piglet into child. I feel like Piglet is... Actually, is Piglet a child? Yeah, I feel like Piglet's a child. Eeyore has never banged. Eeyore is 100% never banged. Kanga is a confirmed parent. And Roo is a child. Tigger. Never banged. Tigger is never banged. Tigger has the energy of somebody who really wants to try it out, but has never banged. That would make you sad too. What would make you sad? Oh, drinking the fireball. Owl has had sex exactly 2 times. Oh, that would make you say, gotcha, Eeyore. Thank you. Christopher Robin is a child. Gopher has banged a couple times, and Rabbit has banged precisely once. I think these characters are from Rescuers. I don't know why they're way up here. Rabbit had a wife? No, he didn't. Did he? I had a wife, you know.
He has a wife, you know.
There we go. Does Rabbit from... I feel like this is a joke, but just in case... Or a woof-ah! Never shown to have a joke. Okay, just checking. Okay, where are we at? I'm gonna skip these guys because they're not until the Rescuers. Get down there. Okay.
Hey, pretty small penis.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Why did that play? Oh shit! That's yeah. That would do that, wouldn't it? Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to fix that later. He got that things used to be nice when I was in love mode. Yeah, he's definitely banged at least once. I'm going to say that Todd from Fox and the Hound never banged, but will bang after the credits. And just for the sake of Disney purity, I'm going to say, in fact, I bet you they banged during the movie, but just for the sake of a balance, I'll say they banged after the credits as well. As for Copper, that girl Fox has for sure had sex. Look, when they point the camera at the vixen, it's kind of implied that it's like, look at how pure and beautiful she is. There's no way she would have. She's meant for Clyde. Copper relaxed enough to have empty balls. I'm gonna say Copper has banged a couple times, not a bunch. Are you implying sex makes you impure, Roar? I'm implying that the implication of the movie was that look at this beautiful, pure, you know, wife for you, and she's all for you, Todd. That's the vibe I got from the movie. Tell me I'm wrong. Mama Owl has banged so many times. She has a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of knowledge from this character that only comes from banging a bunch. The two cranky neighbors, the owner of the dogs and the owner of the fox. I would say the cranky old guy. How much left? We're almost done. We have another night of this. It's we have another night scheduled next week. We'll probably. Oh God, it's already 2 hours, huh? Let's finish up. Gorp, what do you know about the Black Cauldron characters? Where do I put these characters? Where's the dark evil guy go? Rory's the hottest Todd. You're my vixen, my love. I'm gonna snooze that ad break. You don't remember any other characters from the Fox and the Hound? I remember the Fox and the Hod. How about these old hag ladies? I'm going to put them into Never Banged because they look like creepy old ladies who are just like hermit ladies. The evil guy has definitely had sex. Yeah, I bet you he's banged a bunch. This little gremlin thing, I'm going to put into what? Big titty lady probably got some without trying. I'm going to put all these guys, all these little sprites. I'm going to put them into Never Banged as well. These two old guys. I think this guy is like a parent, I'm betting. Who's this old guy? Black Cauldron characters. I don't know any of these characters. You would put the sprites guy into the what category? I'm down. Because I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea of any of those characters. And this old guy, I want to put him into has probably banged a bunch of times because he's really old and he has that vibe of somebody who's definitely had a bunch of sex. Let's go back to Fox and the Hound. This old cranky badger definitely has banged a bunch. Like he hasn't liked any of the sex, but he's had a lot of it and he's enjoyed a lot of it. The little caterpillar, I'm going to put into child because he spends the entire movie as a child caterpillar and never ends up mating as far as I'm aware. He does eventually become a butterfly, but a young butterfly, so I'm still going to put him in child. Now, as for old cranky man, I'm going to put him into has banged so many times. The old cranky woman, though, Todd's mom, I'm going to put into has only banged a couple of times because she doesn't have a husband, she doesn't have kids, she's old, she seems like she lives out in the middle of nowhere and raises foxes for a living. I keep like dropping frames, that's fun. Yeah, I'm going to put her in has banged a couple of times. Finally, Chief, who is the cranky dog who lives next door with Copper. Where did I put Copper? I'm going to put him in as banged a bunch of times because he's like a cranky alpha dog. So I'm going to put him in the that has banged a bunch of times. Halfway through the list. I mean, let's put it this way. We have gotten up to the Great Mouse Detective. So, I mean, we've gone from Snow White to the Great Mouse Detective. I think that this little porcupine has never banged. I feel I don't get the vibe that he's ever banged. As I also don't get the vibe that these two birds have ever banged. Like all three of these birds out in the wilderness, like I don't feel like they've mated yet. They seem like they're just not giving off that vibe. Let me unpin these images. Okay. Can I save this? I know it saves to my profile. There we go. Download image. Beautiful. Look at, oh god. I don't know what anything is. Shit. Oh. That was the clunk sound from the cruise. I was worried about what noise that made. Anyways, okay, so we will do a full tier list rundown later at some point, but let's take a quick peek at the list. These are the confirmed parents up here at the top. I'm pretty okay with all of this list. Has banged so many times. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting vibes of all of these characters. Has definitely, yeah, they've all banged a bunch. Has banged a couple times. This one's probably going to need the most work, but I'm not going to mess with them right now. Has banged after the credits. Yeah, these all track. Has never banged. I'm feeling good about that list. The what list, that one's going to get a whole bunch of people next stream. And the child lists, yeah, these are all children. So, yeah, that all tracks. That's really good. Go pet a cat before bed. If I see Truvy, I will definitely pet her. That was really fun. We are not doing this next stream. Next stream, we're going back to Cat Quest 2. So we are coming back to the Boink tier list. Let me take a look at the stream schedule. We're doing this again next Saturday. So if you are interested in checking out what other characters will be boinking around, come check it out. Tomorrow we'll be finishing up Cat Quest 2 most likely. And then we will be picking up Leisure Suit Larry 1 Reloaded on Tuesday. It's going to be a fun month. I think it's time for bed, though. So, I'm going to bed. Have a fantastic evening. I will see you in about tomorrow. See you in about 24 hours. So, love you. Say it back. Bye. Have a great one.
Okay, Chief, take him away. I'm gonna go